Over the past 7 days, Star Citizen 4.4 has been having some rough patches. There's been a lot of up and downs with 4.4. Things either work really well or they just don't work at all. Things stemming from the servers degrading entirely to completely shutting down, where CAG has to do some work onto them, or items and missions not spawning and or completing. And then the next real question is, will Star Citizen 4.5 be any better, since CAG already stated over on Spectrum that they are shooting for a December release for 4.5. Currently in the PTU, it's open to all waves, so sooner or later we're going to see a release candidate hit the build, so it's just a matter of time till that officially happens. But hey, I am the biggest bird in the verse, aka FC, and I'd like to welcome everyone old and new back to the channel for another episode of Squawk Tawk. Today, we're going to be going over all of that and more in today's episode. What is going on with Star Citizen 4.4? Not a lot, realistically. The developers aren't really paying attention to this patch. They're not rolling out updates and hot fixes left and right like they have in previous patches. And so the server degradation has been more prolific than ever. It's just been abundant. It's been here. It's been in our face. Over the weekend, we've had 2 back-to-back crazy server degradations where the game shut down for like almost an hour at a time. Once on Saturday evening and then again on Sunday morning. PST time, and it shouldn't be happening, but apparently it's happening even more. I'm not sure if they're rolling out hot fixes or if they're just monitoring, but the servers went back up. We're back to play the game and stuff like that all over again, but it does hurt everyone who wants to play the game. Also, the NPCs in the game are still snappy as hell. In my opinion, it doesn't bother me. I actually enjoy how quick and snappy the NPCs are because it gives someone like me who enjoys the FPS side, who is very frugal on the FPS side of the game, it makes it more enjoyable because now I have more of a challenge versus before where I can literally run circles around the NPCs. But I do know that a lot of citizens in the verse don't like how aimbottish the bots are in the game. They are bots, they're NPCs, duh. A lot of citizens don't like how snappy they are or how accurate they are or how they can shoot through inanimate objects like crates and walls and stuff. They can do that, and that's more or less part of a desync issue more than anything else with the NPCs. And I do understand where a lot of citizens are coming from with their frustrations with that. QV missions. I run them real quickly. I can run it solo in about 40 minutes. With a team of 2 people, about 20 minutes. We split up and run it. What I've noticed more or less recently while doing the QV missions or the Vandal Tech Smuggler missions is that the comp board cards are still not responding. So what is happening with the missions with the comp boards or the blades, whatever you want to call it, people will run into the station, grab the cards, and then the cards just won't respawn, and it won't respawn until a server refresh. That's not fixed. I don't know if it's been fixed in the PTU just because I don't have enough rep to do the mission myself in the PTU, and I'm not going to regrind all of the rep just to get the QV missions available. So I can't really test that right now in the PTU, so I do apologize. I'm being a little lazy with that one, but it is what it is. And so that hurts. And also mission completion for the tech smuggler mission hasn't been available to a lot of citizens as well, including yours truly. Over the weekend, I think I ran the mission about 20 times, and I think it was about 10 times I was able to actually complete it because the comp boards, not the comp boards, but the commander NPC, the one that has the data encryption key on his body and the data you have to gather from him, hasn't been spawning. I'm not sure why. I'm probably sure it's just another bug, typical CAG Star Citizen bug, but that is also been affecting a lot of players. I see the people who have been commenting on my videos, on the tutorial video on how to run it, both videos, and I see people commenting stating that they are not able to complete the mission just because the bodies aren't spawning or the NPCs aren't spawning, or they're not able to make their way to the warehouse, which is the main loot room. They're not able to go there either because people are taking the comps and are not responding, and so that's happening as well. But everything outside of Nyx is working just fine, so that's the positive. Everything in Nyx is very buggy, but Stanton, Pyro, both of those locations, everything is working as intended and as should. Hawthorns are working properly, but keep your eyes peeled because what I noticed while doing Hawthorns is that the batteries that spawn at the satellite dish locations They have not been spawning in their typical spots. I've been finding them kind of just scattered around the complex. If I open the door up, sometimes there's a battery inside of there, but most cases the battery usually ain't inside there, so that still works. Other than that, I feel like CAG is giving 4.4 the 4.3 treatment, where they kind of just pushed the patch out, let it run its course, and then just completely forgot about it. 4.4 was IAE. IAE is now over, so they're not really applying any updates or hot fixes to 4.4. If the servers go down, then they will give it attention. But other than that, they're pushing all the resources towards 4.5 PTU, because that is going to be the next huge game-changing update. And when I say game-changing, I 100% mean it. But other than that, I would like to remind everyone that I am hosting 2 separate giveaways. One for an Anvil Paladin with lifetime insurance, and then one for a Drake Clipper with lifetime insurance and a Star Citizen game package. All you got to do in order to enter this giveaway is 1, be a subscriber, and 2, for the Paladin, comment on any video in between the times of December 1st through the 15th for a chance to win the Paladin, and then for the Clipper, between December 1st through the 31st for a chance to win that. Star Citizen 4.5 is swiftly approaching the live build. How do we know this? Well, it's very common for CIG to start throwing out a release candidate after the new build goes into open always PTU, which it has done. So we should expect to see an RC build here maybe in the next couple days to a few weeks. I feel like CIG is going to try throwing this build out probably right before Lumialia starts off, maybe like on the 15th, that Monday, or that following Thursday. I feel like that's when they're going to throw it to the live build. Just by going off of their track record of when they actually release stuff. They always release the new patch right before a huge event or update. And this one's going to be the Christmas event. So expected to drop before the Christmas event kicks off. But the real question is, are we ready for 4.5? We seen how they treated 4.4, how they kind of just ran with the whole entire event for the patch and then just forgot it. Will they do the same after Christmas? Will they just go straight on the 4.6 or maybe like a 4.51 or something else like that? We don't know. We do have to wait and find out, just because a lot of it is shrouded in mystery, because that's how CIG does things. Let's now move the conversation over towards engineering. Engineering in 4.5 is a lot of fun. Having your ship burst into flames and you have to take care of it, pull out the fire extinguisher, and handle the fires is a lot of fun. But it's not so much fun when the ships that are supposed to have it functional doesn't really have it functional. What I'm trying to say is that some ships have engineering functional way better than other ships. For example, my Perseus, my Apollo, a couple other ships here and there, they function very well once I'm under fire and things burst into flames. But other ships like my Carrack, my 600i, and also my Vanguard Wardens, for some reason they just don't work. I know CIG said that they have 80 plus vehicles put into the game that has engineering implemented into it, but obviously some of these ships just don't function. And I can understand, because these are more or less legacy ships. They're very old. They've been in the game for years. I believe that the Vanguard Warden has been in the game since 2017 or 18, very long time. And it's, all the systems are not updated, they're not all there. And so I can see why it's taking some time. Carrack, you can pelt it and pelt it and pelt it, but none of the components will go down. They just won't blow up or catch on fire. And it's just like kind of sad that some of these older ships hasn't been touched yet. 600i, you can't even access the ship components in the game. I walked into it and I was like, what's going on here? I can't even enter the engineering rooms at all on this ship. So that's a vessel that desperately needs to be touched. I'm probably sure some people are going to gravitate towards these ships in the game, just so they don't have to worry about taking care of them, just because they're not able to, because the developers locked off certain aspects of the ship. Again, like I said, the 600i, you can't even enter the engineering room because they took the buttons off the doors. You can't even walk in there. So yeah, it's a little bleh. But overall, when it comes to actual fire gameplay, if you will, engineering gameplay, where you have to actually take care of the ship, that is a lot of fun. Personally, that was one of the main reasons why I hopped into Star Citizen, was the whole entire engineering aspect. I wanted to be someone who was in the back of the vessel, running around like a chicken with his head chopped off, taking care of the components, making sure that they're not overheating, making sure that they're in well running shape, because that sounds like a lot of fun. You are very engaged, very active in the gameplay role. You can't just sit there and mess with the terminal and do things. You have to actually go and, maintain, touch these components, either with your tractor beam with the RCM, or, putting up fires with the extinguisher, and then venting, opening up and closing doors, just to make sure that everything is working properly so your vessel doesn't get shut down in the middle of space after a battle. I can't wait for that. It is the biggest thing I've been expecting for the whole entire year since they talked about it during last year's CitizenCon, and I think it's ready for the most part. But those few ships where it doesn't work, doesn't function, you kind of are just out in the water and it does suck. So, hopefully they are able to touch those ships when 4.6 or whatever else comes to light, because it's important. A lot of us have been waiting for this. It is going to change the way how everyone approaches the game, the way how you fly, the way how you mess with your MFDs and set things up. I was inside of a Nova tank and I realized that the components in the Nova tank was not sufficient enough for me to use all the weapons in its stock. So I had to lower my shields in order to put power to the guns. And I was like, it's a tank that's shooting ballistics. Why am I moving power from here to a ballistic cannon? How come it doesn't have any ballistic pips already? But bleh, it is what it is. It's going to be a learning curve for everyone. Everyone's going to have to relearn how to play the game, how to properly, utilize their ships properly when they're out there in the verse, doing what they're doing. Power management and then ship component health. It's supposed to degrade over time, and that is what CIG wants. They want us to maintain and, make sure our ships are running good for extended periods of time while we're out there having fun playing the game. Of course, there's going to be a lot of balancing issues, but as always, we have to wait to see what CIG do, because as always, CIG do as CIG do. And I think that is going to be a wrap for today's Squawk Talk. Please let me know down below in the comments what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on the current affairs of Star Citizen 4.4 and how it's going to transition to 4.5. Are you guys excited for engineering, fires, armor, the way how people are no longer going to be able to solo fly their big ships into certain locations? For example, you're probably not going to see anyone solo fly a Polaris 2 Hawthorns anymore, just because that is a very volatile environment where a lot of players converge onto one single location to duke it out. You're not going to see people flying their Polarises, Idrises, or Perseuses in those areas no more, unless they got someone to, technically take care of the ship, because it is usually, fire on site at those locations. And again, it is going to change the way how everyone approaches the game. Are you guys excited for the brand new FPS attachments? It's going to change how everyone approaches FPS gameplay because of all of the modifiers that these attachments give you once you start equipping them to your ballistics and your laser or energy-based weapons. It's going to be exciting. I know I'm excited for all the change. I can't wait to hop into Corporal's Perseus. As he gets in the battle, I'm going to be down there with my fire extinguisher and my multi-tool fixing and repairing. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be highly engaged gameplay, and that's something I'm super excited for. But let me know down below in the comments your guys' thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear it, love to respond to it, and all that other good stuff. But I am the biggest bird in the verse, aka FC. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Slap that like button because it really does allow more eyes to see me. Big Bird out.